Hi everyone, this is Melissa, artist in residence at Imagine, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a tutorial where I make a sunset background using VersaMagic Chalk Ink, which is my favorite ink to use for blending backgrounds. I think that people really don't know how wonderful this ink is. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's like butter. And so I'm going to show you how I do that on a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock. Now you don't have to use Bristol Smooth. You can use, any other paper that has a non-porous surface, or a surface that's not so porous, I should say. Your Copic coloring paper would work well for this, but in this case I'm just using Bristol Smooth. Now I'm starting with Tea Leaves VersaMagic Chalk Ink, and you can see that I'm just taking the dauber and smooshing it right onto the paper and kind of blending it in circles. You don't have to dab off the paper first. You can go right to the paper, at least with the Bristol Smooth, and you don't get harsh edges. Now I'm taking a die cut that I have here of grass, and I'm also using the dauber to kind of smoosh that ink into that stencil, and then you can see the nice little grass edge I get, and also how smooth and luscious that green ink really is. And in all VersaMagic Chalk Ink is like this. It's wonderful to use for blending any kind of color in your sky or making grass. So next time, try your VersaMagic Chalk Ink when you decide to do a blended background. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my sky, and I'm going to start with Thatch Straw VersaMagic Chalk Ink, and I just simply blend that into the paper right over that grass. Now the grass I did dry a little bit with a heat tool. I'm apologizing now too for the camera going in and out of focus. I think it's because my hand is moving across the page, and as I move that kind of dauber up and down and into circles, it goes a little blurry. I will tell you though that this video is obviously sped up, so I don't blend this fast, and there's no need to. The ink is so smooth and creamy that it blends. But you can see between the pink and the yellow, look at it, you can barely even tell where those two colors come together because they just blend so well. And that is Angel Pink. And now I'm going to go in with some Pretty Petunia, Pretty Petunia Purple VersaMagic Chalk Ink, and add another layer to that sky. And then I'll finish it with, I believe it's called Night Sky. But again, you don't have to smush any of the ink off the edge of your paper. I have a piece of paper underneath just so I don't have to clean my mat in between. But this chalk ink, it blends so beautifully, and if you get harsh edges, you can simply swipe them out. You don't have to do anything special to the background. And so now I'm going to add a little bit of the night sky, and then after I add the night sky, I do go back and kind of blend those colors in together just so I get nice smooth transitions between one color and the next, so that you can barely tell that there is a transition. And so now that I've finished, I've decided to take a die here and just die cut the edges. I think it gives it a nice clean finish, and it also adds a little bit of stitching to the edges, which look really pretty with the little kitties that I'm going to add to the card from Joy Clair. And once I finish that, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the cat in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. This is ink that's safe for Copic markers, and in hindsight I probably should have used my VersaFine Clair because I am going to pull out my Memento markers to color with, but honestly the way I'm going to color these kitties, it doesn't much matter because I'm not going to color them in fully. So now that I have it stamped, I'm going to go ahead and pull out some Memento markers, and I'm going to be using a set called Girls Night Out, and it has a number of pinks in it, a light pink and a bright pink called Rosebud and Angel Pink. And I'm going to put those for the ears, and then I'm going to use the London Fog that comes in the set just to color these cute little spots on both kitties. I think it's an easy way to color if you're not a coloring master, and Memento markers also soak right into that paper so smoothly that it looks perfect for the kitten's fur. So once I have that finished, I'm going to take my black Tuxedo Black Memento marker and kind of fill in some of that stamp. This was a new stamp set. I hadn't really primed it before using it, and sometimes the ink doesn't transfer all the way. So now I'm just fussy cutting the kittens out. I like the little white edge, but you certainly don't have to make it with a white edge. You could cut it close, and so that you don't have it. But now what I'm going to do, and I didn't think this was going to work so great, but this background is now dry. I've set it to the side while I color the cats. I am going to take this Crafter's Workshop stencil, and I am going to use Cloud White VersaMagic ink, and I'm going to stamp that over the dried background. Now, when I first take the stencil off, I thought to myself, I want this a lot darker, so I thought maybe what I'll do is emboss. But instead, I let that dry, and then I'm going to go back in and add another layer of the Cloud White right over the first layer. And you're going to see how beautiful this VersaMagic Chalk Ink layers once the background is dry. Look how bright white that is. People are always looking for gorgeous white inks to do things with. I would recommend Cloud White. Look how beautiful it looks on top of that background. And then I'm going to stamp a sentiment in my VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and this sentiment comes in the Best Buds set as well, and I just have that on my Misty so that I get a really good impression, since I already took the time to make that beautiful background. Now I'm going to use Tear-It tape to adhere my background to my card base, and this is just an A2 size card, and the Bristol Smooth was cut with that die cut, which is just a little bit smaller, so it leaves that nice wide edge. And then I'm going to take my On Point glue and glue the kitties down and put an acrylic block on top just until it dries. I hope you enjoyed today's card here at Imagine, and that you'll join us again for more great tutorials. Have a great day.